Have you ever been to any art galleries or museums before? To those who have, do you ever experience intense and deep emotions emerging while walking along the aisles of the brilliant art pieces displayed there? Because I sure do. You begin to wonder about a lot of things: the process, emotions, backstories, and your imagination start to run wild. So, today, I wish to gratify your curiosity and talk about the three greatest painters of all time, and they are Vincent van Gogh, Edvard Munch, and Frida Kahlo. Well then, let us begin with the first painter who is one of my personal favorites, Vincent van Gogh. Vincent Willem van Gogh, usually known as Van Gogh, was a Dutch painter and one of the greatest of the post-impressionism movement. Generally, he was considered the greatest of the Rembrandt van Rijn, who was also a very renowned Dutch painter. Van Gogh was born on March 30, 1853 in Groot-Zundert, a town in Brabant, Netherlands. He was the oldest of six children of Theodorus van Gogh, a pastor of the Dutch Reformed community, and Anna Cornelia Carbentus, a talented artist whose enthusiasm for art was passed to him. He had two younger brothers, Theo and Cor, and three younger sisters, Anna, Elizabeth, and Wilhelmina. He was closest to Theo, who was very supportive of Van Gogh's art by providing him financial assistance and moral support. In 1889, the year before his death, Van Gogh painted The Starry Night, his most prominent artwork, in the asylum where he was self-admitted at the Saint-Paul de Mausole Asylum near Saint-Rémy de Provence, France. The Starry Night portrays a night sky roiling with a chromatic blue swirls, stars rendered as radiating orbs, and a gleaming yellow crescent moon. Even though this painting is his most celebrated artwork, Van Gogh actually regarded this painting as a failure, as he did not include it among the paintings that he sent Theo to sell at exhibitions. On July 29, 1890, Vincent van Gogh passed away due to an untreated infection from a wound inflicted by himself by shooting in the chest with a revolver. Van Gogh died in the arms of his brother Theo at 37 years old. Now, I have introduced you to Vincent van Gogh. Let's move on to the next painter, Edvard Munch. Edvard Munch was a Norwegian painter and a printmaker who was renowned for his representations of love, loneliness, and death. Munch was born on December 12, 1863, in the village of Aldersburg in Lohen, Norway. He was the second to five children to Christian Munch, a physician, and Laura Catherine Bjolstad, a medical officer. His mother died when he was only 5, and his favorite elder sister, Johanne Sophie, died when he was 14, both of tuberculosis. Later, Munch's father and only brother, Peter, passed away as well when he was a young adult, while one of his younger sisters, Laura Catherine, spent most of her life institutionalized for mental illness. His most famous painting, The Scream, created in 1893, is a portrayal of anxiety raised to a cosmic level and the ruminations on death. This painting was inspired by a hallucinatory event he felt while walking along a path and hearing a scream throughout nature. It illustrates a panic-stricken creature, simultaneously corpse-like and reminiscent of a sperm or fetus, whose contours are echoed in the spiraling lines of the blood-red sky. Munch passed away at age 80 in his house in the town of Ekely near Oslo on January 23, 1944. Munch kept painting until his demise, often depicting his deteriorating health and physical maladies in his artworks. Now you have informed about Edvard Munch, let's continue to the last painter, Frida Kahlo. Magdalena Carmen Frida Kahlo Calderón, or known as Frida Kahlo, was a Mexican painter best known for her unwavering and dazzlingly colored self-portraits that approach such motifs as identity, the human body, and death. She began to paint after being severely injured in a bus accident at the age of 18. Kahlo was a feminist icon and was renowned for being married to a fellow infamous Mexican artist, Diego Rivera. Kahlo was born on July 6, 1907, in Coyoacan, Mexico City, Mexico. She was the third of 4 daughters to a German photographer who moved to Mexico at a young age. Wilhelm Kahlo and Martin de Gonzalez was of Spanish and Native American descent. Kahlo painted the two Fridas, one of her most notable artworks in 1939, the same year of her divorce from Diego, expressing her desperation and loneliness because of the separation. It depicts her two figures holding hands. The left figure is dressed in Diego's rejected European-style wedding dress, while the right figure is dressed in Tehuana attire which Diego reportedly loved best. The main artery of Frida's visible heart in the white wedding dress is cut off and the blood keeps dripping on her dress. Kahlo died on July 13, 1954 at her beloved La Casa Azul, her birthplace, at age 47 due to pulmonary embolism. So I am done with Frida Kahlo. I will conclude my speech now. In conclusion, the three greatest painters of all time that I have chosen, who are Vincent van Gogh, Edvard Munch, and Frida Kahlo, really do deserve the title. Altogether, at some point in their lives, they all had suffered from mental conditions, and it truly reflects on their art. Allow me to finish my speech with a quote from Edvard Munch. "From the moment of my birth, the angels of anxiety, worry, and death stood at my side, followed me out when I played, followed me in the sun of springtime and the glories of summer. They stood at my side in the evening when I closed my eyes, and intimidated me with death, hell, and eternal damnation. And I would often wake up at night and stare wildly into the room. Am I in hell?" So that's all from me. Thank you for listening.